Hey everyone, this is Spirits and Cousins. You've got Courtney today with a fun short episode. I have Jilda right here. We're hanging out and talking about a fun experience she had at a hotel.
Yeah, Courtney, thank you. I don't know what you're drinking, but I know I'm drinking Basil Hayden toast.
Well, cheers to you. I am drinking Trader Joe's Old Fashioned Mix. It's delicious.
Did you squeeze any orange in there?
Thank you. I sure did.
Well, cheers. Thanks for having me. After having some time with Tish, I knew I needed to talk to you. Really wanted to get into my experience over at the hotel.
Yes.
Had it a few times. And ask you a couple of questions. Now, I know it's typically the other way around, but today I'm going to ask you a couple of questions as well.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you. So, because of my work, I travel an awful lot, and I get to stay out here in San Jose at the Westin, San Jose downtown.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great old hotel. I think it used to be called the St. Clair or something like that. Of late, I've been staying there. And, well, we wanted to talk about my first experience, and then we'll get into, I think, why I'm staying there now.
Yes.
First time I got there, was hanging out, walking around, tired. It was after work. It was a long day. And I head up. I'm in the hall. And like out of a split second, I see something out of the corner of my eye. I turn around. Nothing's there. But I hear things. Now, people who listen to us probably don't know that I'm hearing impaired. So I think it's important to know this because
helpful information.
Yeah, right. I'm really hearing things. They're very loud, very clear, but I don't know what they're saying. So I head back into the room thinking nothing of it, really trying to think nothing of it. But the whole time I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? Where am I?
What were you hearing?
Well, voices, lots of voices talking over each other. And this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about later. Like a cacophony of voices. I don't really know what they're saying, but I know it's not bad.
Do they appear to be talking in English?
Various voices, various languages, mostly English, but various languages.
That is fascinating.
Felt like maybe some Eastern European. Definitely English, though. Yes. Really remarkable because I couldn't understand the words, though. Go into my room, just hanging out, but they are talking, and they're everywhere, and the voices are everywhere. I do finally fall asleep. Trip is over, go home. A few weeks later, I'm back in San Jose, and I'm at the Westin again.
And you chose to go back there.
I did. Why? Let me tell you why I chose to go back there. Well, first, I actually listened to Spirits and Cousins, and
Thank you.
learned a few things and said, wow, I've got to check this out. I've really got to see if that was just all in my head. Was I having a moment? I think I binge listened to a few episodes earlier, and I was like, no, I got to go see if this is real or not. So I do. I go back, and yes, same thing. I'm on first time I go there, I'm on the second floor. This time I'm on the third floor, and it's the same thing. I hear so much. Don't understand what they're saying. It's loud.
Huh.
Like, okay, I'm going with this. This is a real thing. I'm actually hearing things. I'm actually seeing things. Hearing things and seeing things. And, yeah, but I'm tired. And I recognize I'm not going to sleep tonight. So I said, okay, I guess I'm thinking I've got to do something. I know I have to kind of set intentions. At least that's what you taught me.
Nice.
And I figured if I'm nice, because they're definitely not mean-spirited.
That's great.
So, well, at least I felt that not. I feel they're not. They better not be. I'm going back. I'll be there in a couple of weeks. And, right?
Right.
So the whole thing here is, I know I've got to get some sleep. So I go out to the hall and I'm just like, guys, I need to get some sleep tonight. I'm just hoping, we can keep it quiet. I can get some rest. I didn't hear anything for the rest of the night. So I'm just really hopeful that they are respectful and really cool, because I'll be back. And if I need to sleep, I'll let them know.
How amazing is that they listen to you?
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? Now, we'll know for sure when I go back in a couple of weeks, because, you think about it. Was it me psyching myself out and letting myself fall asleep? No, I really don't believe so. The same type of voices, different enough, like different conversation was happening. But the voices were similar. Yeah, they were there and they listened to me, and I thought that was really cool.
One of the things that it struck me as I was trying to figure out, okay, what might this have sounded like to you, is if you're sitting at a restaurant and you're surrounded by all these different tables with different groups of people, and they're all having different conversations in different tones and different volumes. Is that similar to what it sounded like to you?
Almost exactly what it sounded like. Almost exactly, except a little bit more muffled.
Okay.
I can hear or understand a lot of what's going on around in a restaurant, for say, like your situation you were just explaining. But in this case, it's like, I just can't grasp the words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. It really does. Wow. So does this type of experience happen to you often?
Yeah. So that's the thing. This has happened to me many, many times when I travel. It's happened before. It's happened after. I'm sure it's going to happen again when I stay at the same hotel, the Westin San Jose downtown. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's called it used to be called the St. Clair. I can't wait to go back because I'm sure it's going to happen again. It does. That's the weird thing. Okay. So we just went out last night. Wow. And come on, that seriously happened again. And not just with me, my wife as well. When we were over at that jail, I definitely felt things that weren't cool, weren't comfortable. When we were over at the house with the tree that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
The name of the house, with the little boy and the family.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. As soon as we walked up, I forgot the tool that I was holding.
The EMF device.
Yes, the EMF device. I mean, I saw it started going off, and I'm like, nah, there's got to be electric around here. I'm just going to wait it out. But no, it was so cool. You knew they were there waiting.
Yep.
Just waiting for us. Really excited to see us. It felt excitement.
Yeah, they really seem to enjoy me telling their story.
Yes.
And being invited into the telling of their story. So what you guys are missing out on is that last night I took these lovely people who are visiting on a ghost tour of Monterey and showed them around and told them some of our vast and deep history, some of it tragic and some of it really sweet and loving. And there's a couple of activities that we did. And there's one house in particular where it's a really heartwarming story. And I always get activity there. And it's really fun because you guys nailed it on the head. Every time I go there, the activity amps up more and more and more. And not in bad ways by any means, but it just is in very loving ways.
Yeah. I'd say that there was a moment when Tish and I were talking and we thought that the spirits know it's you. They realize you're coming and they love the way you tell their story. So they start to get excited. And they let us know that they're excited through the resources, the gear and the tools that we're using.
Yeah, that's so fun. Yeah, I really enjoy telling people about especially this family's history.
Yeah, it's so cool. I had a couple of questions for you if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Thanks. The first one is, there are times when I'm out, like at hotels particularly, and, we're in the U.S. and hotels have been smoke-free for 1 million years already. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it's about 30 years now. And I go into some of these hotels and I could smell the cigars and the cigarettes and the pipes, like the old stuff, not like the vape pens or the 420 marijuana. I'm talking about like a pipe, good old fashioned pipe. So I know in my heart that that's a spirit of a sort or some lingering something, a being of some sort. But I don't understand why I'm not hearing or seeing anything and I'm only smelling something. So I'm wondering, how does it work? Are there times when your senses will pick up, or all your senses will be acute, or just some of them? I'm trying to get a good sense of that.
That is a great question. So what you're experiencing in that moment is called clairsentience. So you're having a psychic moment, essentially, of a smell that's happening in that time of it. It could be a residual ghost, meaning that ghost just happens to hang out there. It doesn't have any intelligence to it. It just is essentially a recording of a spirit that just comes in every so often, and it just happens on a regular basis. Or it could be a spirit that has intelligence that pops in and out with a cigar or a pipe or something like that. And they just often want their presence known. And they tend to know, I believe, when someone can sense them. And so oftentimes they just want that. They just want to be heard or seen. They just want to be paid attention to. And my guess is they were like, oh, I wonder if she can sense that I'm here. Let me try. And so they just were trying to get your attention to say hi, essentially.
Okay. And then they start toying with me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's great. So that makes a right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way I feel anyway. Similarly, there are times like at the hotel, the Westin, where I see something and then I hear something. So that's typically how it is for me, and that feels more natural. So when one of these other events happened for me, I read a lot of energy too. So I'll be walking and I'll feel something. I'll feel an energy, but nobody's there, nothing's there. So there's probably, what is it? I'm thinking that I probably just bumped into someone, that, a spirit or something walking around the street. I wonder though, how come there are times when it's two things, like I have to see something and then hear it?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know if it is that the spirit's way of being able to show you, if they're able to show you in two different ways, or if for whatever reason you're able to be more receptive in that moment in two different ways.
Got it. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I think it's probably just feels more like I'm being receptive, especially now with that hotel. I'm waiting for it.
You're just like, all right, I'm here, I'm open.
Yeah, exactly. And that was last night too. I'm here, I'm open. I really do want to see something, hear something, or feel something. And I felt all of that. So it was pretty cool.
It's really neat. And it sounds like a lot of your abilities are really starting to blossom.
Yeah.
It can be really fun and also a little scary and also a little, I don't know if this is right wording for you. For me, it's been intimidating of just like, what is going on here? I typically am not scared easily, so it doesn't usually scare me. It can be startling at times, especially when you see something in the corner of your eye that you just don't expect coming. But it just is interesting. And you're figuring out how to control it better by asking them or requesting that they stop. Are there other things that you are noticing that you're trying to do in order to help control it or work with it?
I think more than anything, it's just being open to it. Mm-hmm. Definitely setting intentions now, making sure they, I'm here. I'm just being cool. Mm-hmm. I'd like to ask you for a favor. Definitely letting them know I'm not here to bother them, just want to walk in the same plane as them. That's it.
Yeah. Watch out with the favoring wording.
Oh, gosh. Okay, good point.
Yeah. Some elementals and other things think favor is, like you owe them something then.
Yeah.
Things are owed.
Okay, good point. So I'll stop asking for favors.
Yep, don't ask for favors. Yep.
Great. I don't know if I think it's really just being more open-minded.
I agree. Yeah. And I think the thing that it seems like you are doing too is that curiosity. Just being curious. And we were talking about this the other night too, is being curious and being skeptical, but also being open. And it's trying to figure out what pieces of those to lead with and what should take a back seat. And I try and let the skepticism take a back seat for the most part, but it's always there. I want to try and figure out how to debunk it. At the same time, I also really want to be curious because it could be something, who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to follow my gut.
Same here. And that's exactly what happened last night. And that's why I say to myself, just stay open to it. Mm-hmm. What's the worst thing that can happen is you actually tap into something more and you're more enlightened. That can't be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. For the most part, I mean, spirits, the paranormal isn't going to be dangerous or harmful.
Yeah, I would imagine it's similar to here walking on life, right? Most of us are good. Most of us are not harmful. And pretty much the same way in the spirit world.
Yep. Exactly.
Courtney, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
I've loved hanging out with you.
Thank you
Finally
so much.
Getting to know you. Having
Thanks,
my
Jilda.
basil Hayden toast with you.
It's delicious.
And definitely like being part of Spirits, Cousins, and Friends.
Happy. So glad you're here. Have such a wonderful rest of your time here, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.